How's everybody doing? Welcome to the A Fragrant Mind podcast. Listen, so this has been officially the day from hell. And listen, I know sometimes you just have a bad day. I get it. Today has been that day. Literally everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. And it literally started like 3 weeks ago. So today's guest, awesome guy, someone who I've been watching on TikTok for a really long time, and he's super impressive. And I've watched him grow his channel from a few thousand followers to a very substantial amount of followers in a very short period of time. And his energy, his charisma, his presence on camera is really intoxicating. He knows a ton about fragrance. Hold on. Like I said, day from hell, so we're having it right now. Hold on. One second. Anyway, hello? Okay. Like I said, guys, day from hell. Literally everything that could go wrong is going on today. And expect a roller coaster of a ride for this episode, because I don't expect it to stop, which is crazy. Anyway, so where were we? So today's guest, like I said, his charisma, his presence on camera is really intoxicating. He's an awesome guy, someone that I've been really wanting to get on the podcast for a while. And it's been literally one issue after another. It turned into I had a scheduling conflict, then he had a scheduling conflict. We were doing promos to, launch the podcast. I think it was like a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago. And then that fell through. And then today we scheduled for 7 o'clock, which, mind you, it's 7:04. So we were 2 minutes late. No big deal. But about 45 minutes ago, all of a sudden, I have no internet. I'm like, what the hell? Did I not pay the bill? I log into my account. Bill's paid. I said, what's going on? I go on, breeze line down, whatever, and it says no issues in your area. I'm like, okay, no issues. So what's going on? Why do I not have internet? I check the modem. Everything's plugged in. Everything's lit up. So I'm like, what's going on? It says no internet connection. So then I'm on hold with BreezeLine for like 30 minutes. I'm panicking. Homie is messaging me like, what's going on? Why I haven't gotten a link? I'm like, dude, I'm working on it. And it was just horrible. So then I log into my cell phone plan and I literally paid for hotspotting because I'm like, I'm going to hotspot this bitch. I pay for hotspotting. I get it up and running. I come over to the computer. I get everything up and going literally 10 minutes before we're going live. And then all of a sudden my camera starts having issues. The lens won't come out. And then I remembered like 20 minutes ago, my dog knocked over my laptop and camera. And I'm like, oh, did it get damaged? And then I'm sitting there playing with my camera. Finally, it opens up and I get everything going. And then I get connected. We're good to go. And all of a sudden, my Wi-Fi comes back. So yeah, just a crazy hour. And, then I got the cord over here and everything. And I'm expecting things to just, continue to go crazy. Or maybe everything's fixed now and we're good. Maybe karma is finally playing in our favor. Who knows? I don't know. But, this is what happens when you're literally running a podcast from your home office, home studio, whatever you want to call this. We got to roll with the punches, right? So today we have, like I said, Enter the Fragrance on the podcast. I've had no time to prepare. So we're just going to kind of go off the cuff on this one. And I hope you guys are excited because I'm excited. So, yeah. I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter. I did as well. And we're going to get right into it right after the intro. Stay tuned.
Welcome to A Fragrant Mind podcast, the ultimate fraghead show featuring Fragrant Derek.
Look good, feel good, smell good.
Awesome. Dude, we've got Robes 08 in the chat. What? Are you kidding me? What's going on, guy? All right, what's going on here? Why? What is going on here? Dude, like I said, this is crazy today. Hold on. What is going on? You guys, I'm telling you, the devil is real. This is nuts. Okay, all of a sudden, I play the intro and then it's just not. Can you guys see me? What's going on, guys? No idea. All right, whatever. Hold on. Patience. Breathe in. Breathe out. This is nuts, guys. I don't know. Anyway, You guys get the point, right? We're just going off the cuff here. Let me see. No, everything looks good. I don't know what's going on. So patient. I don't know. I love you guys. We're gonna roll with it. All right. So, okay, everything's going wrong. Okay, are we good? You guys can hear me. All right. So let's just get into it because this is crazy. Now my mic's in the corner, not in the corner. Yeah, I get it, dude. I look like a total noob, and I'm not. I promise. And I can't even hear myself for some reason. What is going on today, you guys? I didn't see any black cats. I promise you. I did not see any black cats today. Hello? Check. Dude, this is crazy. All right. Now we're good. All right. Whatever. This is nuts. I'm so sorry, guys. I know this is terrible. I'm just going to go ahead and... What the hell's going on? Anyway, whatever. You guys get the point. Hold on. Let's take a moment of zen. You guys remember that back in the day with what was that show on Comedy Central? It's still on. They had a moment of zen always at the end. The Daily Show, right? You remember when Craig Kilborn was doing it and they had the moment of zen? Let's do that right now. Okay, hold on. Let's bring good vibes in. Let's breathe out the negative energy. Bring in good vibes. Exhale the negative energy. Okay. You guys ready? Let's go ahead and bring in our guest. This is crazy, guys. I'm so sorry. All right, let's bring him in.
Here's Enter.
What's going on, guy?
Hey, I can see you. I can still see you.
You can see me? I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on because I'm not in the main screen here. I have you over here on the right. And I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, you're a little speck on the left. I can still see it, though.
Yeah, you
And
see
you're
that? What the
crisp.
hell's... Hold on, let me see if I can fix this real quick. This is crazy. We got people watching and I look like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I literally play the intro and then it just all shifted to the right for no damn reason.
It's
But
that
on
day.
the
It's
layout,
that
it
kind of
looks
day.
fine. I don't know. This is dumb. This is completely
It's one of
dumb.
those days.
Dude, tell me about it, right? I don't know. This is stupid. You know, and like their whole thing is, and it says I can't move it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to pin them. Okay, now we're good. We're back to normal now, guys. Nope,
Love
don't
it.
want to do that. Definitely don't want to do that. We're going to go split. Nope. Yeah, we're back to that shit again. What the hell? Okay, pin, yeah. Oh, this is dumb. Okay, wait. No, that's stupid. Okay. You know what? Screw it. We're going to go. This is stupid. All right. Hey. Okay. All right. You know, I am tiny and I apologize. Let me see if I can fix that. Can't swap positions with this file. No, can't do that either. What the hell? Dude, they have to. What the hell, man? If you guys knew how much I paid for the software, it would make you sick. That it's just not easy, right? Like we're in 2025. What the hell's going on? Why?
Dude, nothing's easy. Nothing's
Why
easy.
do they have to make it so complicated, right? Like, what is the purpose of all of this? No, it says I can't change positions. I don't know. No, and if I do that, that just blacks us out. And if I do that, that puts you over here, and I disappear. And then if I come back, and then we're just dumb. This is stupid. All right, and now you're down here. Okay, well, and now I'm down there. Okay, whatever. Okay, look, you guys just deal with it. I'm down here. I'm this little box, and you guys are good, right?
We're good.
All right.
I'm good.
Dude, okay, listen. So I've been watching you for a while, bro, and I love your content. I absolutely love your energy. Like I said, the first question I really have, and I'm just super curious,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
is your background? Like, did you do TV at some point? Do you have some kind of formal training in presenting or something? Because you do not come across as someone that just turned on a camera one day and decided to make content. Like you come across as someone that has either been doing this a really long time or has some kind of formal training. So what's the story?
Yeah. So it was one day in December. I've been collecting fragrances for 18 years, and
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of content. You mentioned Robes. I've been watching him for, 15 years. I don't know if he's still here, but
Yeah. By the way, if you're watching, dude, you have to get on the podcast. So just
yeah,
putting it
he's
out
got to make
there.
an appearance. He's got to make
Absolutely.
an appearance for sure.
You'd have to, right?
But yeah, no, I've been just consuming content for years and years and years, starting back to Jeremy Fragrance and
Yeah.
Robes and Steven from Redolescence. And
Mhm.
there was one December right after Christmas. I'm like, well, how about I just start making content? I've got hundreds of fragrances. I mean, I was blessed with a very good memory. I can remember
Yeah.
notes from any fragrance, and I'm like, let's just pop on the camera. We'll start with TikTok. TikTok's easy to use, and started that way. But no, my background, I've been in sales my whole life.
Okay.
So
So that
talking to
explains it.
people,
Yeah.
yeah, talking to people, and just working with everyday people for the last 10,
Mm.
12 years. So yeah, it just happened, man. It just happened. And I didn't
Yeah.
expect it to grow this. I had no expectation whatsoever. That's how I started.
That's dope. Yeah, it's interesting. When I first started making content, like I had no idea how to talk to the camera. I tended to like repeat the same phrases over and over and over again to the point where people were like, "Dude, use more descriptive words." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. I also have a background in sales, which should have helped me, but it didn't. And it literally, I think I didn't catch a groove until like my 150th video or something like that. So,
Yeah.
like, what was your early content like? Was it rough, or did you just start off like being you? Like, I'm just curious.
Yeah, yeah. So I remember it started off me not talking to the camera. I didn't want to show my face, me
Yeah.
holding a fragrance and describing it. And those
Mm,
were the first couple dozen videos. And I'm like, well, everybody who's doing well in the industry shows their face at some point. I mean,
mm,
so I'm gonna get a chair, I'm gonna plant it right here, I'm gonna get a selfie stick and a Ring camera from Amazon, and I figured out, everybody else is posting once a day.
mm.
So I'm just gonna talk about what I'm wearing for the day. So I started my Scent of the Day series
Yeah.
a year ago and just haven't missed a day with that. There's a lot that goes into social media, and it's crazy what videos do well and don't do well. But basically, I would just talk about whatever I got in new or my Scent of
Mm,
the Day. I started it real easy. And a lot of people ask, like, how do I get started in content creation? Just be consistent. Just post every day at the
yeah.
same time, so your audience learns your routine, and that's how I kind of got started. I just started a routine because you need to build a routine with anything you do. Whether it's
Mm,
working out, whether it's school, studying. I mean,
yeah.
stay consistent. Don't give up. And that's why I've got the sign saying "the world is yours." That's from the Scarface movie, obviously, but that
Mm,
saying really resonated with me. And you can make the world yours. You can do anything you set your mind to.
yeah.
So that's kind of what I started going, and then I eventually started the lives and the other content, and I just recently launched the YouTube channel. So
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. No, your lives are super impressive because you literally give the exact same energy from the beginning to the end of the live. It's impressive. Like, with me, when I go live, I have zero energy. You know what I mean? Like, dude, and it's exhausting when you're literally at hyperspeed answering questions. Your brain's constantly turned on. You've got to like respond rapid fire constantly, and you're just always on. It's
yeah.
impressive. What's it like when you log out? Like, are you just wiped, or is it like, I'm curious. And then
Yeah.
also secondary to that, how much caffeine are you sucking down a day?
So I'll walk you through a basic day. So usually I wake up at like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Central Time. Wake up, I have usually like a monster or a coffee, and
Yeah.
I'll have to be to work at noon, and I'll work from noon to 9. And keep in mind it's an hour drive there and back
Mm,
for my full-time job.
yeah.
And I don't get home till 10. Literally hop on the lights, hop on the mic, go live for 2 hours, go to the gym afterwards, and then by the time I wind down
Mm,
at midnight, 1 o'clock, then I eat my dinner, and I'm done for the day. I'm ready to just pass out and wake up the next day. But I usually have about two energy drinks a day. One in the morning, one in the afternoon. Yeah.
no, that's impressive, dude. By the way, yeah, I know the title's wrong, guys. I am so sorry. I literally had like 2 minutes to jump on here. Everything's all screwed up. I had no time. As I explained in the beginning, this whole day's been crazy. I promise the end, the post, the final product is going to look amazing. Trust me. This is sort of like an added bonus when I have people live in the chat and stuff. It's sort of just like a little bonus thing that we do just so people can be involved, but it's not perfect. And I'm only on this is episode 11 and I still haven't figured it out. So we'll get there at some point, I promise. No, back to what you're saying though, like that's incredible because Honestly, like one thing for me is, especially in recent times, my energy levels have also like significantly increased just from like, I think eating healthier,
Yeah.
a solid vitamin regimen, solid sleep, you know what I mean? And then just like, there's something about like being a content creator when you're doing it like full time, that sort of like brings you to life in a way, you know?
Therapeutic.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird. Like for me anyway, I feel that when your mind is actively creating and you're tuned into like the creative part as well as you've got the work ethic part going, and also there's this sort of like inherent need to deliver constantly and to push the envelope a little further and a little further every time and constantly being looking to improve and all that. I think it just sort of like almost awakens this sort of like nature about us that, it's like there's almost like this superpower in all of us that just sort of comes out when all of a sudden you've gotten a little bit of success and you've found your groove and things are just happening naturally. It's almost supernatural what happens. Have you had that kind of experience? Do you know what I'm talking about?
For sure. Yeah. Like, going
Yeah.
back to what I said, it's very therapeutic. So, like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's the community's like a family almost,
Yeah.
and it's nice, being so busy and then coming home
Mm,
and having that community in the live and on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
mm,
It's so good to see a lot of the people and all the
yeah.
support they show. It's unbelievable. It's literally, truly unbelievable the
Yeah.
amount of support that people have given, and I couldn't be here without all those people. So
Absolutely.
it's really eye-opening, and yeah, it's fun to do, fun to watch, and trust me, I like to do the funny content too. I'm not always serious. I mean, you got to do what makes you happy, and some people do things just for the views, but truly and honestly, I mean, the funny stuff I put out too, more often than the serious stuff, performs,
Mm,
just as good, if not better. On
yeah.
Easter Day, I thought of a video idea of filling plastic Easter eggs and putting my mini fragrances in them and
Mm,
scattering them around the yard. And that's
mm,
one of my best performing TikTok videos to date. So, it's like, you can be serious as a content creator, but you got to have some fun with it too,
mhm.
So I think there's not one way or the other, and that goes for fragrances too. People complain about alternatives and quote unquote inspos. It's like, wear what you want when you want. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why there's one side or the other. It doesn't make sense to me. Like what you like, and if you like it, you like it. If not, tell people you don't like it. I make
Mhm.
plenty of videos of fragrances I don't like.
Yeah.
It's not disappointing. It's like, why do we have to be on one side or the other side? Can't we
Mm.
just all come together and just make, content that we want to make?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I've struggled with for a long time is that people seem to have this need to constantly be somehow like as if there's like some kind of hidden rule book with fragrance, right? Like,
Mhm.
oh, well, like there are people that are just like they'll die on the hill of, oh, well, clones are bad or inspired buys are bad, whatever you want to call it. And then there's other people that are like, oh, well, if you're still wearing just designers, you're not mature enough or whatever. Listen, life in general is not linear. Everything we do in life is not linear. We're all a part of this progressive sort of nature of life. Like they say, milk before meat, right?
Mhm.
And no matter where you are in your fragrance journey, you're still a part of the family. And whether, you're a 17-year-old kid with his first bottle of Nautica Voyage, or you're someone that has been collecting for years and now you're getting into the more artistic, small batch indie stuff, it doesn't matter. We're all part of the same community because at some point, the person that's been collecting for 25 years was that 17-year-old kid. And that 17-year-old kid, if we continue to inspire them and bring them into the fold, eventually, maybe not, but a good portion of them will get to where we are, and we need to support each other equally. And I think that's really important. Also, kind of ties into why we're doing this podcast, why I've been doing this podcast, is because, early on in my journey here on YouTube and TikTok and all that, I got a ton of support from not only the followers, but from some pretty influential people in the fragrance content creation space. And, they didn't do a ton for me. It's not like they had set up anything or, given me a hand up or anything. They just gave me positive affirmations. Just every once in a while, they would like a video, maybe they would comment, and they would just reach out every once in a while and say, dude, love what you're doing. And if you look back at those early videos where they were hyping it up, they were pretty freaking bad. But I still got the push up because I think they understood that it wasn't about the content, it wasn't about the quality or any of it. It was simply the fact that I was passionate about what I was doing and that I was pushing forward every day. And that's what I think is unique about this community over all other social media, whatever, niches or whatever, is that we literally are a family. But the problem is there's never been a place where we could convene. And for a long time there, everyone was sort of off doing their own successes, and there started to be competition and everything else. And we lost that collaborative part. And
Yeah.
you weren't seeing a lot of people doing videos together anymore. There was not, every once in a while you'd see like the big names, they would do a team review or something. A lot of us, smaller guys coming up and then, whatever, it just wasn't happening. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, why we have all this support in the back end, like in our DMs and everything, we're all communicating with each other and we're all supporting each other in the back end. But to the audience, we were all separate. Like it's like they didn't know that we were all interconnected. So for me, when I launched this podcast, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, I'm like, we need a place where we can all come, whether you have 100 followers or you have 1 million followers. It needs to be an open door to bring all of us in so that we can, talk and bullshit. And then also just, open the door for communication, for a peek into who we are, what's going on in our lives, the stuff that you don't see in the 1 to 2 minute shorts or the 7 minute longer form videos, or even the lives where we're just literally rapid fire talking about, your favorite Jean-Paul Gaultier. But, this is just
question. Yeah, the most
right. That's what question. I'm saying. Yeah. But I mean, so we needed I feel like we needed this, and that's why I'm doing it. And hopefully we can get some traction with this whole thing because I think it's going to be super important. You know what I mean? And I didn't feel like it needed to be me, the one that did this, but at the same time, no one else was. So I kind of stepped up to the plate. But I'm not someone that feels like, you're the star, you're the one that is getting us there. Every guest that we have on is the driver to what we're doing. I'm simply just, hopefully asking the questions that the audience wants to hear. They want to know the answers to these things. So what's upcoming for you? Like, what's next for Enter the Fragrance? What do you see happening in the next year with content and everything? Like, you have anything in the works that we don't know about that maybe you might want to share or anything like that?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah. So, once you get to a certain point, brand deals start happening and you affiliate links start happening. And anybody who's starting off, pick and choose wisely, because my only advice is, other than, if you're starting off in the game, posting consistently, yes, that's good, but promoting what you really like, and don't promote bullshit, like there's fragrances that I really like, some people might not like, but you go back and look at all my videos. I mean, I truly enjoy what I promote. So I'm kind of at the point now where I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, stay consistent, keep talking about the fragrances I enjoy. And there might be, maybe, you heard it here first, Enter the Fragrance coming soon, possibly.
Okay, that's super exciting. And honestly, I love when, creators get into that whole thing, because it's one thing to like take someone's advice and say, oh, this is a good fragrance or not, and go out and buy that fragrance. It's another to experience something that they created personally. And I think a lot of our followers connect with us on a personal level. So it's not necessarily just about wearing a fragrance that's going to smell good, but it's about, wearing the essence of that person, which is, I think, for us fragrance lovers, like, when we wear a certain perfumer's fragrance, we feel sort of connected to them individually, but also
Right.
we feel like we're kind of crawling into their brain a little bit and experiencing part of their personality, or maybe a mood they were in that day or whatever. But I think it's super cool when creators, do that, and it's really special. But I was going to say this, like, for a long time, and even now, there seems to be this like bias, like in Facebook groups, and even in, like, you see it a lot in the comments and stuff, where people just, not everybody, but a lot of folks out there that watch us, there seems to be this like distrust in influencers. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Almost like they think that, oh, well, they're just, they're just getting paid to promote that fragrance, and it's probably going to suck or whatever. Like, you don't understand. Like, I think a lot of people don't understand what we have to do to protect our integrity. Like, when you reach a certain level, you're literally being reached out to on a daily basis by all sorts of brands. I mean, there's literally tens of thousands of companies out there, and they're always reaching out saying, oh, let me send you a bottle or this or that, the other. Like on to your point, you have to be super, choosy on what we decide to promote.
Right.
And it's almost like people that watch us assume that, we're just taking whatever we can get. No.
Right.
When you reach a certain level, you're able to literally just
Pick and choose.
pick and choose. Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
I
You're
mean,
right.
we really have the freedom to only promote what we believe in,
Exactly.
Because, and honestly, I would rather take $100 deal over a $10,000 deal if I knew that the $100 deal was for someone that is supporting me on the back end, either by just being a positive part of my life, being a friend, someone that I know, like, they've got a family, they're raising, a family, they're hustling every day, doing, the back end marketing and all that stuff. They've invested money out of their own pocket to launch their brand. They're literally 110% all in on this stuff.
Exactly.
And they're just trying to get out of their current situation. And that's the people that I like to back up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Over the major brands, the big money, investors and all that stuff. I like the small guy, and those are the
Yeah.
people that I believe in. And there's even big brands out there that are still the small guy,
Yeah.
because, like, there's people that have come up that we all know and love, but they're literally family brands that just, they're out there hustling, man.
Yeah.
And those are the people that I support. And because I'm one of them, like, I think you're one of them. And
Of course.
we all started from nowhere, and we're out here hustling and trying to just break free of the box that, society or whatever has put us in, and we're just trying to, survive like everyone else.
Yeah.
And
And
at the end of the day, yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad you touched on that. Like at a certain point, you can pick and choose. So, if
Mm,
you have 1,000 brands reaching out to your point, and you're working with 10 of them, I mean, are you really being biased? No. I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
I can tell you a big dupe company reached out to me and wanted to work with me. And I've never talked highly about their fragrances.
Mm,
And they were going to offer me some money to talk about it. I said,
yeah.
absolutely not.
Mm,
It happens. Like you said, you can pick and choose at a certain level. And, whether it's 6 to 10 companies, it shouldn't matter as long as you enjoy it and your
yeah.
enthusiasm and passion for that brand. Mind Games is a big one that gets a lot of hate. Mind Games in
Hmm.
particular, I love their fragrances. I've been buying their fragrances for the last couple years, and some people say, "Oh, they smell like this, they smell like that. They're not worth $300." To me, in my
Yeah.
personal opinion, I love Mind Games. I
Mm,
love certain fragrances they put out, even though they might be overpriced. I always say that in my videos. I
yeah.
don't recommend going to buy some of these expensive fragrances if they're out of your budget.
Mm,
Just there's a lot of forced hate for certain brands, which it just drives me crazy. But
yeah.
I don't know. It's just
There's so much drama and politics in the fragrance industry. It's crazy. You have no
yeah,
idea. Like, I'll go to work with someone and I'll have like 10 people like, oh, don't work with them. They're whatever. They're not good people, whatever. And it's like, look, until they burn my bridge, I'm not gonna do anything to anyone. Because
exactly.
imagine, there's like probably a bunch of people out there that would tell you that I'm a horrible person, right? Maybe they had a disagreement with me or something I did rubbed them the wrong way, and they could easily convince you that I'm a terrible person.
Oh,
But then
that's
there's
life. Yeah,
yeah, but then there's 1,000 people that would say the opposite, right?
right.
And, I think if we pass judgment based on what others are saying, we're not giving anyone a fair shake. And there's tons of that. You know what I mean? There's so many people out there like, and I typically don't get involved in the drama or the politics.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
go off of what's in the bottle, right? Like, how does the juice smell? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I mean, this isn't, I hate to say, like, this isn't rocket science. We're not, doing some kind of like major saving surgery or, the
Mission to
end of the
NASA.
world. The world isn't going to be saved because of what we're doing.
Right.
It's simply like, look, it's smelly alcohol, smelly water, whatever you want to call it. And, does it smell good or doesn't it? It's really
Right.
that simple. Everything else is irrelevant,
Well, and there's two things about that. So the first thing is I care nothing about longevity or performance. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it's about how it smells. If it
Yeah.
smells great for 2 hours, I love it. I'm gonna like,
Yeah.
the Tommy Bahama line, a lot of you guys might be familiar. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite lines. Does it last more than 2, 3 hours? No, it's an eau de cologne.
Mm.
But it smells so fresh and invigorating. And there's such a nostalgic feel behind a lot of these fragrances that,
Yeah.
you know, I buy based
Oh,
on
by the way, hold
nostalgia.
on. Robes is leaving, so I just wanted to say thank you for stopping by, guy. Anyway,
Appreciate you, my
continue. I
guy.
apologize. Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
no, much love, Robes. Um, but another one, like this fragrance in particular gets so much hate,
Yeah.
and we should start like a bring back Nautica Voyage. Do you remember when this 10, 15 years ago was all of the talk? I know I do.
Dude, it's still all the talk. I'm sorry, but there's two different camps. There's the camp that hates on it, but like, you know what? I think the true frag heads have much respect for it. I have much respect for it. And I don't know. It's hard to trash on it. I mean, it's a solid scent. It actually does have really good performance for a $20 scent, and it's accessible. You can literally buy it everywhere, whether you're at CVS or TJ Maxx or on Amazon. It's literally everywhere. It's $20, and it's been $20 for the last like 20 years.
You know?
You know what I mean? So like, just
Oh, I've
dude.
gotten the most like you want to talk about a complimented scent. This is my most,
Yeah.
and I made a video about it recently. The most complimented scent in my collection, a $20 scent.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I know.
So
It's
like
crazy. The
price,
funny thing is like the most compliments I ever get are always the ones that I'm just like, I didn't think about the fragrance I was wearing that day. I didn't plan ahead. I just threw a little, I call them burner scents. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
fragrances that I know I'm going to burn through a bottle because I wear it so much. But like those scents get the most attention. It's not the $500 niche, whatever. It's literally the little $10 banger that I got stuck in my glove box that I just threw on because my good one faded already. You know what I mean?
right,
Makes no sense.
right. No, and I trust me, I love niche fragrances. I mean,
Yeah.
Argos is a great line. Mind Games, which I was talking about. Amouage makes good
Yeah.
fragrances.
Oh.
I mean, these
Yeah.
these new ones. Have you heard of the House of Destan? I've been talking about it a lot on my
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah. I know Max Aroma's really pushing them right now.
Yeah, they are good. They
Yeah.
are fantastic. I got to smell them in New York back in
Mm.
December at Scent Explorer. I was
Yeah.
blown away. Blown away. But yeah, you got to try those.
Yeah. No, it's funny. Like, there's a lot of new brands coming up that are just killing it. You know what I mean? And they're not getting the attention they deserve.
No.
And but yeah, it's really cool. It's funny. Like now that spring's coming, you know what I mean? Like I'm starting to break out a lot of those, the freshies that I've had sitting all winter, and it feels good, man. It feels good to start wearing some fresh scents again, and be uplifted, feel a little bit I don't know, like I don't want to
invigorated.
say that. I don't want to say dark fragrances make me feel dirty. They don't. But
No,
I feel cleaner. I feel fresher. I feel more invigorated when I'm wearing a fresh scent. You know.
it's a vibe. Yeah, it's a vibe for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. You know what
What
one that I've been wearing? Go ahead. Yeah.
no, I was going to ask you, what if you had to throw out top three? What are your top three summer,
Like
spring?
spring,
Yeah,
summer,
yeah,
spring. I know this is gonna sound crazy. Well, not crazy, but the entire Aqua di Gio line is just a solid. Like I think I have 5 in the line now, which I used to have many more, but I've sort of cycled through them. But yeah, I mean anything Aqua di Gio. I mean you could literally grab any of them. I mean they're all so damn close to each other.
they are.
It's almost hard to discern. I mean, they all have a slight twist, but they're all pretty much the same thing. So if you're wondering which Aqua di Gio to get, you're not going to go wrong with any of them. So just whatever you find. But Aqua di Gio is always a standby. I've been really vibing the 20. I think it's the 2023 or 2024 version of Dior Homme Sport. I friggin' love
Really?
that stuff, dude. It's so nice. Yeah, it doesn't
I gotta
feel like
give
a
them.
sport fragrance, but it's a nice one.
Yeah,
And
there's like
it
woods and citrus in there, I think, right?
it's citrus for sure. It has a very unique sweetness about it, and then it has that sort of high end elegance that Dior brings to the table.
Yeah.
It definitely has the Dior Homme DNA, but closer to like the new formulation of the Dior Homme line, opposed to the original with the iris notes.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just a very fresh, clean, little sweet. There's like a hint of something blue in there, but not really. It's a good, it's just solid fragrance, but it smells like a high-end freshie, and I love it.
Oh, Dior makes fantastic gems, and
Yeah,
Sauvage to
dude.
this day.
Yeah,
I'll keep telling people Sauvage EDP is the best starter fragrance.
yeah. Sauvage is a good one. I don't own any Sauvage actually right now. I don't know why. Just I don't know. For some reason, it's not one that I ever pulled the trigger on. I've owned a
Yeah.
few in the past, but no, so Dior Homme Sport's one of them that is just a constant grab. And number 3, what would be the most worn? I gotta tell you, once again, another one that gets a lot of hate, but I just can't stop wearing it because this gets a lot of compliments from me. It's
Okay.
just OG Mancera Cedrat Boisé.
Ooh, the
Dude,
OG.
I'm telling you right now,
Mm-hmm.
that thing pulls in so many compliments. It's ridiculous. But you know what's crazy is I'll tell you what I did the other day, right?
Okay.
So I layered Cedrat Boisé in Office for Men. Yep.
Real.
I did. Dude, it's a banger.
Would
You
you put on
mix
first
those
Office?
two? Huh?
Would you put on first Office?
I don't remember what I put on first.
We're gonna try it. We're gonna test
I don't
it.
remember. Dude, it's a banger. Yeah. Office for Men and Cedrat. It's dope.
Who?
Yeah. Dude, it's killer. I'm telling you. Let it dry down for like 20 minutes and it blends, dude. It blends.
Yeah, it gives it that fruitiness that Office is
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's crazy good. Yeah.
But yeah,
Another
I
good
think-
another
ahead.
good another good combo that I wore recently was this is going to sound a little weird, but it works. There's this fragrance that I bought literally at it was a $14 I paid for it, called
Okay.
Guess Amore Capri,
Interesting.
which literally smells like the Gucci Love Edition that they just came out with,
Yeah, yeah.
but it adds a tropical note. Yeah.
Okay.
It adds a tropical note, and I mix that with light blue intense, and it friggin' works because the tropical notes in it mixed with the light blue intense. I feel like it like light blue needed that tropicalness. You know what I mean? And it
That's
just
interesting.
friggin' works, dude. It's an amazing combination. And mind you, the guest fragrance literally lasts like 10 minutes. So adding the light blue makes it just stays on your skin all day, and it's just a solid scent. Yeah.
I'll have to check that one out because I just picked up a Guess from Burlington, 1981 Indigo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude,
This is
Guess
fantastic.
is a super underrated house right there. You know, they do
This
a
is
really
almost
good
like
job.
Paradise Garden-ish. It's got fig and
Mm.
coconut in it. Even though it's
Yeah.
marketed towards men, I mean, anybody could rock it. And
You'll
that's the
be
whole thing.
surprised. A lot of these cheapy houses are doing like some really creative notes.
Right.
You know, it's
That's the
it's
whole thing too. When I started my channel, like there's this whole male, female, you have to wear this, you have to wear that. I give two shits about that. I'll wear women's fragrances, I'll wear men's fragrances. You know,
mm,
I wear Yara Candy from time to time. Like a
mm,
fragrance anybody could wear. Let's be real, because you
yeah,
know, sweeter fragrances in the early 90s weren't a thing. They
yeah,
were not a thing. I mean, Da Vinci Pie, I think, was the first sweet fragrance for men with vanilla. Before this, in '98, it was all about fougères and
yeah.
geranium and musks, and then all
Well,
of a
I think
sudden,
the first official fragrance that really blended the lines was probably CK1.
yeah, for sure,
That was the first mass marketed unisex fragrance where they literally said, "Hey, we're getting rid of gender with this one." I think ever since then, there's been a lot more liberties taken with notes. Like
right?
literally, I think prior to really 2001, maybe oak moss was in every men's fragrance. It was just oak
Oh,
moss, oak moss, oak moss. That or like just heavy vanillas and you know
Vetivers, yeah, vetiver,
vetivers and yeah. I mean, it's yeah. So and dude, we've definitely toned back the amount of ingredients because you look at some of them early scents. There's like 80 notes in a like, dude, what were we doing? Were we just sitting there mixing stuff until it smelled good? Like, what was going on with the early perfumers, man?
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, you even look at some Rosias nowadays. Rosia still kind of follows that same formula. I'll look at some
Yeah.
of his new fragrances, and I'm like, what is he doing? There's like 55 notes in
Dude,
there.
there's not enough room on the screen to put all the notes up so people could
No,
see
it's
them. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna sit there and list them all.
no.
It's crazy, man. It's literally broken down now where new releases are like only releasing like either 2 or 3 accords.
Right.
It's like, oh, there's like literally it'll say like citrus, woody, patchouli or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like they'll
yeah,
just list 3 notes, and really until like 2 months later when maybe Fragrantica has some kind of hint of what might else be in it or what else might be in it. There's just everyone's like, oh, these are just it's a 3-noter. I mean,
yeah.
clearly we know there's not just 3 notes, but that's just all they promote now.
Right. And some of them, it would be interesting to see what the other notes are, because
Yeah.
as we're smelling them, we might pick
Mm,
up a vanilla that's not in there,
yeah.
or like a mango that's not listed,
Mm,
but it is what it is.
yeah. That's why it's always fun to talk to a perfumer because, like, even when they have notes listed, like when I smell something and I'm actually talking to the creator of that scent, I'll say, "Hey, I pick up this," and they'll go, "Well, that makes sense because it has that," or they'll say, "Well, it has this thing, but it gives off that vibe."
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, so I'm not crazy. You know what I mean? But
Oh,
if you're
yeah, for
talking to
sure.
like another person and they're like, "Well, it doesn't say that anywhere in the notes, so yeah, it's not in it." Well, if you talk to the perfumer, actually, it is. You know what I mean?
Well, and
So
you know what's
that's
amazing? These big time
yeah,
perfumers now are going with these smaller brands, these
yeah,
quote unquote Arabic brands, which
yeah.
is interesting. Quentin Biche and
Mm.
all these high profile perfumers.
Well, they're following the money. I mean, I hate to say
Yeah,
it, but a
when it's
lot
all
of
said and
these,
done.
yeah, I mean, a lot of these brands, that are coming up, they're putting some dollars behind what they're doing, and I'm here for it because you know what? At the end of the day, um, I love this craft perfumery, and I
Yeah,
think it's important that we do make it more accessible to everyone. And if
100%.
we keep going with the formula of charging 700-800, it's just that's crazy. I mean, everyone knows it's not needed. We all know what they really cost. It's not a secret. Literally, you could put rubies in the bottle and it's not going to be worth that. So let's get real here. Let's come back to earth a bit and make it more accessible for everyone. And at the end of the day, we'll sell more bottles and we'll all make more money. It'll be good for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Remember when you could
So,
go to a retailer and buy like Chanel for $80? You know?
dude, early on, like people don't remember this, but like I remember when like Azzaro was like $30.
Yeah,
And now you go to Ulta and you see a new Azzaro release and it's like 140, 150. And I'm like, dude, Azzaro was never that much. Same thing with Mont Blancs.
yeah.
They were always like $20, $30 cents. Now Mont Blanc comes, I mean, literally, I just bought a Mont Blanc. The last one I got was the new private line. I think I paid like $140 for it.
That's crazy.
Like, what the
Blows my
hell's going
mind.
on? Yeah,
Blows my mind.
I don't get it, but
It's inflation.
yeah, I wouldn't call it inflation. I mean, inflation. Listen, inflation. They'll tell you, oh, inflation's 8% or 10%. Nah, man. Then why is it all of
No.
a sudden things are 200-300% more than they used to be? You
Well, I
know?
mean, even the king himself, Jeremy Fragrance,
Yeah.
admitted in a video how much it costs to produce his scent. Like you said,
Oh,
it's no
absolutely.
secret. I think he
No.
talked about, the whole bottle being a $6 bottle with juice.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very transparent about it. So
Yeah.
it's like, but you're paying for the brand, you're paying to support,
Mm.
the vision and the person who's behind it. So I understand it.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the bottle itself, yeah, I mean, it's probably $6, but you have to understand, like, you have to equate the marketing budget, the
Right.
manpower. Like,
Shipping.
at the end of the day, you know where the money should be going is to the perfumer. Perfumers nowadays are so underpaid. Like, do you understand that? Like, a Kurt John or some of these bigger, perfumers, they're not millionaires.
Nope.
They're maybe making 110, 120. There are literal influencers that are bringing in more than the perfumers that are working for companies like Dior and all of them.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
sad, dude. You know?
Anybody who has 100,000 plus followers, 99% of the time they're probably making over six figures.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily.
And the thing is these perfumers, they're literal rock stars, yet
Yeah.
they're so underpaid.
Yeah.
It's a travesty. And we need to be compensating our artists, because without them, this whole industry is going to crumble. What are we going to do? Just count on AI to start doing perfumes? Like, where does it go from there? We lose the human element, and then all of a sudden, everybody smells like Dior Sauvage. You know what I
Nautica
mean?
Voyage.
Yeah. Like, we got 30 new Nautica Voyage flankers this year. I don't know. I just think it's sad. I think with everything that's creative, even music, you look at musicians, they're out there making, selling millions of whatever, and they're severely underpaid. It was like, was it Snoop Dogg that said like he had like 2 billion streams or something, and he said he made like $7 grand? That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. It's facts,
nuts.
man. It's a different world. It's a different time, but
yeah,
just got to evolve, I guess. So,
I
quote
know.
unquote.
All right. I know for a fact that right now you have a bottle in your collection, okay. that you haven't talked. There has to be. There is a bottle in your collection that not only have you not talked about, but you're gatekeeping that bad boy. And that's the one I want to know. What is the one that you're gatekeeping? Maybe because of, I don't know, shame. You're a little ashamed of wearing it, or in your mind, it's not as interesting as other people might think, but it's a guilty pleasure for you. What fragrance is that?
Yeah. So there's quite a few, with 1,600 bottles, there's quite a lot to talk about. But the reason I haven't talked about this is I haven't given it a full true wearing. I've only done testing on it. And believe it or not, it's another influencer's fragrance. And it's Eau Janeiro Oblivion by Soma Parfums.
Nice.
This is unbelievable. And he's hyped this up, so I'm like, I gotta pick it up. I think I bought it from Lucky Scent. But it's fruity, sweet, classy, elegant, long lasting. I mean, I've done a couple test wears on this, and it's just knocked my socks off. And it's easily one of the best in the collection. I think I paid about $150-ish. But yeah, shout out to Eau Janeiro. He collaborated a masterpiece with that one.
So what are like the I missed where you were talking the notes. What are the notes on that one?
Fruity woods. It's almost kind of like.
Is it a fresher?
It leans fresher, but it's fruity in the sense of like almost like a Creed Aventus with the blackcurrant pineapple vibe.
Okay.
But it's kind
of. Does it have a smokiness to it, or?
Slight.
Okay.
Slight smoky, citrus, fruity vibes. It's just kind of all over the place when you look at the note pyramid.
Would
But
you
when you
say it's more
spray it,
versatile, or do you think it leans to a
versatile,
certain?
100%
Wow.
compliment worthy,
Yeah.
versatile every day. If
Mm,
you want, I can still smell it in the room. If you want attention, that's
that's
the
the
one
one,
to go
huh?
for. That's the one.
Nice. Nice. No, that sounds dope. I'm gonna go grab a couple bottles because I didn't even do that before we went.
Okay.
Yeah, like literally, as you can see, they're like way back here. So I'm gonna hold on 1 second.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you talk while I'm doing that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Hold on. I'll
I'll
be right
talk.
back.
Yeah, I'll talk about a couple other fragrances I really enjoy that I don't talk about often on the channel. One being because it's discontinued, and it's one of the best coconut fragrances, believe it or not. And it's Hugo Boss Bottled Pacific, or Hugo Boss Pacific Coconut Musk. If you guys like that Le Beau DNA, this is kind of in between Le Beau and Le Beau Le Parfum, but longer lasting. Really solid stuff. I picked up a 6.8 ounce bottle a while back, halfway gone. But awesome, awesome stuff. Great summer hit. I'm going to be wearing it this spring, summer. Amazing. Truly a masterpiece. But I don't like talking about discontinued scents because they're so hard to come across, and these resellers are selling them for god awful amounts of money.
All right, I'm back.
I was talking about Hugo Boss Pacific. Have you heard of that one?
No.
It's discontinued. It's a coconut fragrance.
Oh, dude, that's dope. I love Boss, bro.
This is fantastic. It's kind of like Le Beau, but longer lasting, less
Yeah,
coconutty, more
yeah.
tropical.
Boss is one of those houses that when they pop up, everyone talks about them, but then they just sort of like fade off into obscurity in between releases. But they're a great house, dude.
They put out some
So
heat.
here's what I wanted to mention to you.
Okay.
You mentioned mind games, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I do love mind games. But if you love mind games, and this is something that I think is starting to come out in the open, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
If you like mind games, go get some Banana Republic. Everyone knows. I'm not going to tell you why. But if you like mind games, get some Banana Republic. Do your research. Find out why.
Is it this one?
Bro, I'm going to show you this one though. So this is a fragrance called Slate Arctic. Which is weird because this one, dude.
Yeah.
You talk about how like performance is not important. This one has terrible performance.
Okay.
But the smell of this juice, oh my gosh, bro.
Really? I keep seeing that at my Burlington. I keep passing up.
Dude, this literally smells. I own hundreds and I've owned way more.
Yeah, yeah.
Mind you, my collection has started to diminish, and I'm also getting new bottles all the time. This smells literally like nothing I've owned or have ever smelt before or since.
Real.
But it's so friggin' addictive. I have to spray this on.
You know, that combo you put me on is fantastic.
Isn't that so nice, dude? I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. That also works if you, yeah, it's just a good one. It also goes really well with, if you were to layer that with Elysium and Boise is phenomenal, bro. So this one is one that will completely shapeshift from the opening to the dry down. It shapeshifts. It's totally different scent from beginning to end.
Really?
But this stuff, when I tell you, it has a spiciness to it, but a freshness and an invigorating, vibrant, slightly fruity, but citrus, but I don't even know how to, it literally breaks my head every time I smell it.
I wonder if it's got like one of those mineral notes, hence the name Slate.
It does have some minerality to it, but it's got a clean citrus, fresh, but also spicy, has a slight warmth to it, but doesn't feel like there's definitely vetiver in this.
Yeah. Man, I keep passing that
but
one up.
And then when it dries down, oh my God, dude. The dry down is magic with this. And the thing is, I've literally never talked about it because I think I got this on clearance for like $9.
Yeah.
And it's not one that, like, if I posted a video about this right now, it might get 3 views, maybe 4. But no one's talking about this house or even this flanker or whatever it is. No one's searching this friggin' fragrance.
No.
But when I tell you that this stuff, is magic. It's magic. And dude, now that I'm wearing it, it's like,
It's
what the hell,
man,
bro? And here's the thing. They could literally bottle this in a really high-end, gorgeous bottle.
oh yeah.
Any kind of aesthetic, it could be any kind of aesthetic. Let's say, a chess aesthetic or something. And they could sell this for, I don't know, 300-400, and no one would know that it was once a $9 scent.
Nope. No, and that's the reality of it, you know?
And I'm telling you right now, this stuff is worth every cent of $9. Listen, but it's so good, dude. I'd pay it $10, but it's just really that good. I mean, it's a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
It's
pick
really
that up.
good.
Usually I see it about for 20-25 bucks at mine. I'm just gonna have to scoop it
Yeah.
up next time. My
At
Burlington.
2025, it's still worth it. It's worth
Yeah.
it. You know what? It's worth it. And it's worth it. I mean, it's a good fragrance. And the bottle doesn't look half bad. I mean, it's not like anything groundbreaking, but it doesn't look cheap. It doesn't present cheap. I mean, the cap is a little definitely cheap. But the atomizer's not horrible, right?
No.
It's passable, you know what I mean? But the juice is just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I love Banana
Yeah.
Republic. I
Like I said,
overpaid for most of mine, unfortunately.
Now that it's drying down, definitely getting that. I know what this. Hold on. Let me sit with this for a second, because I know there's.
Have you tried
Oris? No, you know what this reminds me of? Okay, I'll tell you what this reminds me of. This reminds me of Ferragamo. It reminds me of maybe a little bit F Blackish.
Okay.
Which is also a cheapie, but it has a hint of a Ferragamo style fragrance.
Interesting.
But imagine if Ferragamo wasn't dry. Like, you know what I mean when I talk about how Ferragamo comes across as a bit dry?
Dry, dusty almost, yeah.
Yeah. This is like if you took that dry Ferragamo, but then added like a fruity, citrusy, juicy vibe to it.
Ooh.
So it's got that fruity, juicy, citrusy opening, and then as it dries down, it becomes a little drier, a little bit more vetiver-y, a little bit of spice, kind of like. So it's just like the best of both worlds, but it friggin' works. It's really nice. I love it.
Yeah, I gotta check that one out, man.
Yeah.
You know what? So Banana Republic sent me this one, and I was shocked when I smelt it because it smells very similar to Queening. Have you smelled Queening?
I have not. No.
Dude, it's an iris vanilla with a slight coconut, but their new Banana Republic, the Oris Vanille.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
That's cool, yeah.
Well, and we all know I think most of us know it's the same perfumer, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I wasn't going to say it, but
it's pretty out in the public.
Yeah. Hey, but you were mentioning how you like to wear some feminine fragrances. This is one that I love wearing.
Yeah.
And actually, I remember smelling it at Ulta, I think. And I didn't realize it was a feminine, like it was marketed as a woman's perfume. I had no idea, because I've heard, in the past, a lot of people talk about Black Opium being something that just everyone wears, but it's specifically marketed to women. But I remember smelling it and I was like blown away at how good it smelled. And I ended up getting a bottle, and it's the Over Red by Black Opium.
It's the best one.
Dude,
best one.
Am I right? This stuff. And it's great. Like this this reminds me of like a Tom Ford-esque, something that Tom Ford would do. And Yves Saint Laurent is just probably, in my opinion, one of the best designer houses, period. I mean, their vast array of scents in almost
100%.
Every category. They have their youthful scents, like the Wise and the Myselfs, and then they've got, of course, the high-end stuff like the Tuxedos, and they've got the Baby Cats, and then they've got the La Nuit de L'Hommes and the L'Homme line and all that, and then they've got this stuff. Dude, they are so versatile. They're literally all over the map. They cover everything. This is one that is just not disappointing. It's phenomenal. I love it.
That's my favorite one.
It's like cherry coffee, a little bit of chocolate, has this resinous vibe about it. The florals in this does not come across as like a feminine floral. It's like almost like an opium, like an opium kind of blossom, resinous, vibe. Almost licoricey, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of like if Pure Sauvage Elixir had cherry added almost to it,
Kind of, yeah.
right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But then also has that cocoa, a little bit of coffee, a little, you know what I mean? It's just so many layers, so many layers. It's just a gorgeous scent.
So you know which one
Yeah.
threw me off? So I went to was it an Ulta or a Sephora
Mm,
year and a half ago, and I'm looking at the men's counter and I go, is that a new Burberry release for men? And it's in the men's section. So I spray
yeah.
it on a strip and I'm like, wow, this is great. I go, can I get a bottle of this? She goes, well, that's a female fragrance.
Mm,
I'm like, what? And it was
yeah.
Burberry Goddess when it launched.
Okay.
Love this stuff. The cocoa,
Yeah.
vanilla, and then they've inspoed it to death. But
Yeah.
I love wearing that. Burberry Goddess.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. And I mean, you can get close with like an Anghem,
Mm,
but I mean, it's unbelievable. Basically, all it is vanilla, cocoa, and I think lavender might be in there, but
yeah. Yeah.
love
It's,
it.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But back to the opium. So, when I got this, I was like, okay, I have to explore more of the opium line.
Okay.
So I went all the way back to the original,
Okay.
the opium Porhomme.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think this is
Oh,
the
wow.
reformulated version before they discontinued it like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Dude,
Okay.
this stuff. Have you ever smelt this one?
Not that one, no.
The original?
I've seen it. I've never smelled it.
Okay. When you smell this, you can still recognize this DNA in the new Black Opium releases. It's still
Okay.
here. I will say this. If someone is not seasoned and doesn't have an understanding and respect for like OG retro style fragrances, this is going to be very much on the challenging side, but this is phenomenal.
I'll have
And
to check that one.
I think we need to rally together to get them to bring this back, because to have a men's fragrance in the opium line is desperately needed.
Oh,
Because
for
the
sure.
opium line is so phenomenal, and it sucks that they're really just gearing toward the women with it. I'll always buy opiums. At the end of the day, I think we need to start marketing the opium line back to men, and we need to revisit this one. It is so damn good. Can it be modernized? Absolutely. Should it be? Probably not, because I think this will still sell a ton of bottles. But, dude, it's so good. And I can't even describe. Huh?
They did it with Devotion. They made the Devotion
Yeah.
Pour,
Yeah.
which I wasn't a huge fan of, but
Yeah. Well, they're doing that a lot. I mean, Jean-Paul Gaultier is now starting to, turn a lot of their women's, perfumes into, doing masculine flankers of them.
oh yeah,
But
and there's a rumor that the Prada Paradox line
yeah,
for women.
yeah, yeah.
There's a rumor that they're gonna make a men's version. I just found that
Okay.
out today.
Nice.
So I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but it's gonna be like called Paradigm or something.
Yeah.
And it's gonna look just like the Prada Paradox.
So if you remember, Guerlain, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you remember the top-selling Guerlain classic Shalimar, right?
Yeah.
That, was a woman's perfume. So when they released a men's version, they didn't call it Shalimar Perhomme or anything like that. What they did was they released Habit Rouge. I don't know if you know that scent, Habit Rouge.
Yeah.
So Habit Rouge, I think that came out in the 60s.
I think so.
But it was
60s.
like officially it was the first amber fragrance for men. And anyway, they just recently released Habit Rouge. I think it's Parfum Spirit, which I still want to get, but I currently am waiting on the Habit Rouge Parfum to come in, because that was released just at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And that's one that I'm super hyped to smell, because I got just recently
because they came out with the Parfum I smelled at a duty free. It was fantastic.
the Parfum. The one that I just got is anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I have the other Parfum that they released. I can't remember. My brain's not working. Anyway.
The L'Homme
L'Homme, yeah. So I got L'Homme Parfum. It's literally the best in the line. I didn't think they could do better than the EDP, and they literally blew it away.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. They blew it away, and you've been using that one, I could tell. But
It's good.
Guerlain is hands down my favorite house, period.
It's one of mine too. Yeah.
Their literal connection to classic, true French perfumery. They have the provenance. And not only do they have the provenance, but even the current perfumer has been trained by the previous, who was trained by the previous and there's this sort of chain of command that has gone out throughout the house. There's never been a break in the chain since the beginning, and that's what I love about Guerlain.
You know what's funny? One of my most complimented fragrances is the L'Homme Ideal Extreme with the
Yeah,
plum.
yeah. Oh,
This
of
is
course, dude.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it
I,
smells rich.
yeah. I mean, Guerlain's one of those houses where maybe once every 15, 20 years they come out with a miss, but they legitimately almost every release is a hit.
Oh yeah.
And they're just consistently good and consistently elevated. I mean, at $175 retail price point, it blows my mind that they're able to do what they do. And also, I think I want to make a video at some point about the what Guerlain is in France. Like there, I don't know if you've heard of like this like tradition in France, how when girls come of age, I think when they reach like 13 or 14 years old, I'm not sure the age,
Yeah, they
but
get a
their mothers will take their daughters to the Guerlain boutique,
Mhm.
and it's this whole thing where they go in and they're not just there to buy a fragrance, they're there to be matched with their signature scent.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's this
amazing.
whole thing. They spend all day there. And when they leave, they literally have been connected to the brand. And it's something that no other house does.
I
You
know
know,
it's wild.
that literally, it's almost like a quinceanera or something like that for French girls. And that's something like, for one, no one else does, but to have that kind of legacy is phenomenal. And no one talks about it. I think it's really amazing that that exists.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up. I saw that on a documentary years ago,
Yeah,
and I was blown away. I'm like, wow, this is
I
a
know.
whole big shindig. And I only knew
Yeah,
them from the L'Homme line, the Vetiver line, the Hobby Rouge. They have thousands of different fragrances,
absolutely. Yeah.
thousands and thousands and thousands, but they just don't get talked about because,
Mm-mm.
they're harder to find over here and
Mm.
they're more of
Yeah.
a French tradition. But
Yeah. And man, what they've done is cannot be replicated. And it literally is it's something it's a tradition. It's deep in the French culture. And it's super impressive. And once you get introduced to the line and you understand everything behind it, it makes it 1,000 times more special to wear one of their scents, you know?
yeah, no, it's
Um,
definitely something. I remember I tried my first one a few years back, 5, 6 years back, and I was blown away. I go, I've never smelt anything like this.
yeah. It's insane. And like, dude, I even have right here. Like when you order directly from Guerlain, like you get these like beautiful boxes, and the way they package it is just absolutely gorgeous. Like they literally go all out, you know, like with
Yeah,
the paper and the little, and they put little samples, and they put a card in here. It's like a welcome card. A super impressive experience that you just don't get by ordering it from like a discounter or something.
you're right.
And there's something to be said. Like I would pay 75 extra bucks all day to get this experience every time. And it's
Oh,
pretty
for sure.
phenomenal. You know, it's phenomenal. And
Oh, for
it's really,
sure.
and it just makes you feel connected to the brand, you know?
Yeah. No, and I would say they're probably the most underrated brand on
Yeah,
social media. You don't hear many people talking about them
not at all.
other than other than what's their tobacco honey fragrance.
Yeah. And to be fair, the only house that even rivaled them was Creed as far as
Yeah.
provenance goes and family and tradition. But now that like I'm pretty sure Pepsi owns Creed or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't think they have that same, you know, legacy anymore, unfortunately.
No.
Not saying the family isn't still connected, but you know, now that it's, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to say they sold out, but they did, you know.
Right, right.
I mean, Guerlain is literally the last of a dying breed. I hate to say it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the next closest thing, what could I think of? Maybe like Roja? Maybe?
No, I mean, Roja is, I mean,
It's one guy,
it's
but
one guy, and he's not, it's not like he comes from a storyline of Rojas.
that's true. Yeah, I
I
can't
mean,
think of
not saying
anyone.
that Roja isn't a master at what he does, but I'm
But
talking
once
about
he's
as far as
gone,
the
like,
legacy goes, you know?
oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, Creed was passed down from son, grandson to son,
Yeah.
and but
Like I
yeah,
said,
no,
Creed and Guerlain really were the two major legacy houses. And then even then, I mean, I'm not trying to trash Creed, but there were a lot of people that questioned the provenance that they were pushing. You know, like, is this real? Is it, you know, is it authentic? I mean, I'm
right?
not here to say yes or no, but I do know with Guerlain, you can track that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you can literally track it all the
Oh,
way
for
back
sure.
to its origins, and it's pretty freaking impressive.
And you know what's funny with that we bring up Guerlain because I was at an antique store yesterday and they had a
Mm,
bottle and I didn't post the video yet, but they had a bottle for 240,
wow.
an antique Guerlain bottle. I don't know
Two
what it
dollars
was
and 40
called.
cents or
No,
$240.
no, $240.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I'm like, do I buy it? It was from 1890. There was a little bit of juice left in there, but the bottle looked magnificent. It was in like a
Mm,
padded folding box, and I'm
wow.
still contemplating about going back and getting it. But yeah, I
Mm.
took some pictures and some videos. Unbelievable, and it was still
Did you catch a whiff?
no, it was locked up in a case.
I'd be
Yeah,
curious if the fragrance is still there.
and me too. That's what I was thinking too. And they
Yeah.
also had an original Michael Kors. I couldn't track it how far back it was, but
Mm,
yeah, they had an original Michael Kors. It looked like too,
yeah.
and then their Avons and all that other stuff. Remember Avon?
Yeah, I actually talk about Avon, and I think it was my one of the podcasts I did. I talked
Okay.
about my history with Avon, how my introductory to fragrance was through Avon. Like, my mom sold Avon when I was a very small child,
Oh,
and
I
she
did
would
see
always
that. Yeah.
get those. You remember the little, like, they
The
look like wet naps?
Yeah, the wet nap
And
looks are great.
the story I told was how I was a Boy Scout, and we'd go camping, you know, for like a weekend or weeks at a time, and they would always have an outhouse at the camp, and it
Okay.
smelled horrendous. So I would bring pockets full of those little wet nap scent, you know, scent samples. And
Yeah, yeah.
whenever I'd go to the bathroom, I would open one up and put it under my nose and go to the bathroom because I couldn't stand the smell of the outhouse. You know what I mean? And I'll be
Yeah, yeah.
honest, sometimes I'd rather smell the outhouse than whatever was on that little pad, because those things were not great. You know what I mean?
No.
They were
I
pretty alcohol forward and whatever else
yeah,
they
I
were
got
putting in
some
them.
they had some open at the antique shop and I'm like, "People wore these? It smells like
Yeah.
almost like a Glade
Yeah.
spray."
No, I wouldn't even call it that. It was like, it was intense. They were rough. Some were
Yeah.
hyper offensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Hyper offensive. But the bottles were ornate. You know, like, they went all in on the
So cool.
bottles. Yeah.
So cool.
Well, I think because they were like a magazine, right? I mean, like, they had to. I mean, that's what sold it, was the bottles. You know. I
Yeah, the
mean, just
presentation.
the presentation was like 99% of it. The 0.1% was the scent. And to be fair, most times when you got it, you were like, yeah, this is gonna sit on the shelf a while. I don't remember ever owning a Avon, like the early Avon scents, and going, yeah, I'm gonna keep buying this one. This is my new signature.
No.
Nah, that never happened. You
No,
know what
not
I
at
mean?
all.
I would rather wear Bod over that stuff, you know?
Oh,
Like, Bod
100%.
smelled better.
Oh, yeah, Bod was actually decent.
Yeah.
I forgot about them. They had the
There
little
were
it
a
almost looked
couple
like
in those
Windex.
little gift sets. There were always a couple that I couldn't stand, but then there was
Yeah.
the one or two that you're like, okay, this is not bad.
So
You know?
I got my hands on a couple. You've seen the brand Beverly Hills Polo
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah,
stores. So they've been coming out with a lot of new fragrances, and they're
yeah,
trying to uplift their game, trying to kind of get in that niche space with ouds and stuff. Some of
yeah.
those are hitters, heavy hitters for $20,
That's dope.
real heavy hitters.
Yeah, dude. A lot of these TJ Maxx Marshalls are hitting, dude. Like, even the ones that are like not in the case, but are just kind of like thrown on a shelf somewhere. Some
Yeah.
without caps, some with broken atomizers. You know, dude, those things hit. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I mean,
Oh
you do
yeah.
not have to be bougie to, or even have much of a budget to get to smell damn good. You know,
No,
it's
not at all.
crazy. Yeah.
And now some of even the body sprays, they're making 20% concentration,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
I mean, Bath and
20%
Body
oil.
Works is hitting pretty good too. I mean, a lot of the Bath and Body Works, even the body sprays for men are pretty phenomenal.
Oh yeah. I just
You
bought a new
know?
one. They just released. They had a sale, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? They've got this
Mm.
new I think it's a bourbon whiskey fragrance
Yeah,
that
I've
just
smelled
came
that
up.
one. That's dope. Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ordered that blindly.
Yeah.
It was like
Now,
30
mind you,
bucks,
they
something
do
like
have
that.
a body spray, and usually alongside the body spray, they do have a cologne version,
Mhm.
which I believe is a cologne concentration, eau de cologne.
I think so.
But they're pretty good. I'd say though, at $50, go online because I think you can get them for around 20
Yeah.
online.
When they run a sale.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean just not from them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, anything
There are
else.
resellers or that sell them for like $20.
Right.
I think at a $20 price point, they're definitely worth the money. At 50, I'd be a little hesitant,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I love what they're doing. Yeah, they're definitely putting out some really good scents. My request to them is raise the price point to 75. Put out some EDPs
Yeah.
because if they
That would be
did that,
fantastic.
that would put them in a whole new realm and position them as a real solid fragrance house. Like if
Yeah.
they were to do that, they could be taken very seriously because their scent profiles are phenomenal. And if they were to put out a solid EDP version of their scents, they would be unstoppable. They would literally rise to probably one of the top in the game. And at a
Yeah.
$75 price point, they would be very aggressive in pricing.
Oh yeah. I mean they
Yeah.
would I would imagine they could work out some sort of agreement with Sephora and Ulta
Oh,
to sell their
absolutely.
products, you know?
Absolutely.
And who's gonna I
Absolutely.
mean, I'd pick if I was a young kid or anybody for the matter, I'd pick a $75 scent over a $125 scent if it
Yeah.
smelled good. You
To be
know?
fair, anybody putting out an eau de cologne nowadays is just not going to go anywhere. Doesn't matter how good you're smelling. It's just
Oh,
it's just not worth wasting. Even at a $20 price point, it's a hard trigger pull for me.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean, I could literally spend $20 and get something 10 times as.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
Banana Republic.
absolutely, I mean, there's so many out there. Dozens and dozens of fragrances now that are at that price point that are just knocking socks off. But
Oh
that
yeah.
being said, I think that Banana Republic has some real bangers. But if they were to amp it up to an actual EDP, they
Right.
would be unstoppable.
I think there's something you know how every brand is promoting these pheromone
Mm,
fragrances? So I've been trying one in particular. I'm not gonna say what it is because I want to
yeah.
do more testing on it, but I've been wearing it and I've been getting compliments left and right.
Mm,
And it's a spray. It's an EDT or EDP, but they add in the pheromones plus pheromones.
yeah.
I mean, I got 10 compliments the other day wearing this
Yeah.
thing out and about for errands. And I'm like, is it the pheromones or is it the scent profile? Like, what is it?
To be fair, like pheromones is really a marketing term because they're not actually putting pheromones. Like a lot of these, scientific, proven, this and that. That's all marketing keywords. But that being said, more than likely, they're using some really mass appealing ingredients that just work. And they're probably, there's a lot of sense that, for instance, Nautica Voyage is one of them. That is just heavy on, certain ingredients that just make sense lift off your skin. And
Right.
that we know that 99.9% of people that smell it is going to enjoy it.
Oh, for sure.
Sauvage is another one that does the same thing. Coach for Men does the same thing. I mean, there's so many houses that literally, you could recommend it to 99% of people and they're going to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing
Oh, yeah.
challenging. There's nothing aggressive. There's nothing odd. It's just an easy, dumb, affordable reach. And so I think, these pheromone fragrances, they've tapped into that sort of like, that style of fragrance. And, they sell the crap out of them, and rightly so. But that being said, I mean, it's not hard to find scents like that. I mean, a lot of them exist. And I think they all have a solid place in the industry. And, if compliments is what you're fishing for, it's not hard to get them.
No, there's a lot of mass appealing scents out there. Mont Blanc,
Absolutely.
like you said, YSL. I mean, they're all.
Oh, oh yeah. No, it's harder nowadays to find a bad fragrance than it is to find a good one. You
Oh,
know?
100%. 100%. I,
Yeah.
I've maybe run into the last 2 months, maybe run into one bad fragrance over
Yeah.
100 different fragrances. One
And to be
bad
fair,
one.
even the bad ones are still pretty good.
Yeah,
It's kind of like with
objective.
pizza. It's kind of like with
Yeah,
pizza, you know, like you could have bad pizza, but even bad
Still,
pizza is still pretty good. Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So hey man, we've been on for like an hour and a half, bro.
Oh, geez.
Nothing wrong with that. No, dude, this has been great. The fact that we haven't spoken before is sad because we obviously clicked, man, and I think it's
For sure.
we need to continue to talk, and hopefully you'll come back on the podcast in the future. I think it's been a blast, dude. I think a lot of people have enjoyed listening, and I've enjoyed talking to you, man. This has been really cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
Promote what you got to promote, man. Now's your time. What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want to link up? Let me throw
I'm
your
doing- Yeah.
hold on, I
Go
have
ahead.
your link here, so I'm gonna show that. Go ahead. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm on the road to 100,000 followers. I think we're closing in on 52. So
Nice.
the first pinned video on the profile, we're doing a giveaway for 7 Jean Paul Gaultiers.
What?
Labelle, Divine, Paradise Garden, LeBeau EDT, Elixir. So we'll announce that winner once we hit 100K, and it's gaining some traction. So get your, and that's on TikTok at Enter the Fragrance.
Yeah.
Get your entries in. Unlimited entries, unlimited tags. You got to repost, add to story, and I'm gonna make you guys do some work for $1,000 worth of fragrances.
That's crazy. Is it all going to one person or what?
Yeah, it's all going to one person.
Oh, that's badass, dude. Hell
yeah. So we're doing that, and then just YouTube and Instagram, posting different content on there every day.
At Enter the Fragrance everywhere, right? That's dope.
Enter the Fragrance everywhere. Yeah.
That's nice.
So,
Yeah.
Just trying to post something every day, but still have fun with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for people
100K is
that
the next goal.
yeah, and for those that have never seen you, I hope they understand exactly what you're getting, because the same energy you're putting off now is the same dude that's in the videos. And dude, you're such an impressive person. Just your whole energy, your vibe, your positivity, your passion, your ability to communicate, your ability to convince everyone how amazing a scent is that you're experiencing. It's literally addictive. And
Thank you.
you have a certain presence about you that's really, really special. And wherever you go in the future, you're going to be successful. I know it, man. And
Appreciate you. Yeah,
I can't wait
same
to
with
see
you,
where
man.
you go. Yeah.
Same with you. I'm glad you filled this gap and this void, and I think this is going to get bigger than you think sooner than later. So
I hope so. Let's
plus
share the hell out of this, man.
yeah, no, it's fun. You get to kind of see a different side of creators instead of, like you said, 2-minute, 3-minute clips. And
Absolutely.
we've got plenty more we can talk about next time I'm on. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to come back for sure. Thanks for having me too, by the way.
Dude, absolutely. And it's been an honor. And yeah, for everybody watching, also for everyone in the chat, you guys have been, listen, I was not ignoring you. I've been reading all of the comments, and thank you guys so much for joining. Of course, we had the amazing Robes08 in the comment section. If you guys haven't heard of him or checked him out, he is one of the OGs in this game. He's the grandpa of the industry. No, not saying he's old, but you know what I mean. He's awesome, and I'm really happy that he was in here. By the way, he did extend the olive branch, so we are going to have him on the podcast in the future, hopefully sooner than later. So if you guys didn't get a chance, be sure to subscribe to A Fragrant State of Mind, AFSOM, on YouTube as well as TikTok, or official AFSOM on Instagram. Of course, the A Fragrant Mind podcast YouTube channel, and on Spotify. You have all episodes live right now, and this episode will be live as of 9 a.m. tomorrow, so you guys can check out the full version of this episode at 9 a.m. on the A Fragrant Mind podcast on Spotify. Also, hopefully within the next week, we'll be live on Apple Podcasts as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, and be sure to follow Enter the Fragrance on TikTok, as well as go and build up his YouTube channel because that dude deserves it. And bro, thank you so much. I love you so
My
much,
pleasure.
man. And like I said, I've been watching you a long time. I know this is the first time we've really gotten to talk in person, but I feel like I know you. I feel like I knew you, and
Yeah.
I'm glad we did this because you are exactly what I thought you would be, and I love it.
I appreciate it, brother. Yeah,
Yeah,
same
man.
here. It was we could have gone on for probably 3-4 hours.
I know, dude. I was like, I hate to cut this short, but we're like literally
It's
an
all
hour and a
right.
half in. No, but this has been a blast, dude, and we have to do a part 2. So
For sure. We'll do.
let's
We'll do. We'll
stay
do.
tuned for that, man. All right,
Definitely.
dude.
I appreciate
Yeah.
you, brother. Much love.
Yeah,
And remember, the world
absolutely.
is yours.
Yeah, dude. And I'll go out with mine. I hope you guys all look good, feel good, and smell good. And as always, have a fragrant state of mind. It froze. I told you we were gonna have another.
See, now I can see you on the big screen.
Okay, something's going on here, man. My outro's not. Okay, it just froze. Hold on, let me see if I can relaunch.
Yeah, it
What
still
the
says
hell,
record.
man? Dude, we went through the whole podcast without a hiccup, right? And then I said, this is going to be a roller coaster. And I look like a dink. Hold on. And we're going to roll it. What the? There we go. This has been a Fragrant Mind podcast. Be sure to visit afragrantstateofmind.com or subscribe to AFSOM on YouTube. As always, have a fragrant state of mind. Bye, guys.